librarian, and I'm going to take you through 3 different modules within this session. Today we are with the Faculty of Sciences and Computing, and you are all most welcome for this session. I want to appreciate the presence of Dr. Setekela, the Dean of the Faculty. He joined first. All the rest you found him on. Doctor, you are most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We also have our Director of Research and Innovations, Dr. Primrose Nakazibwe, has also joined us. Dr. Primrose, you're also welcome.
It's been muted.
Okay. Basing on our series, let me first go here. Just a minute. Okay. Basing on these trainings, today we are handling our Faculty of Sciences and Computing. And in our first session, we are going to look at access to e-resources, online library. Then we shall look at the next module, we shall look at in-text citation and referencing. And in our last module, we shall look at plagiarism. So to start with is e-resources. For us to access the e-resources, we visit the website of the university, ndegeuniversity.ac.ug, and on the main page, under the menu, we have the library. And when you are there, you go to e-resources. That is if you are on campus using the internet at the university. And when you are using your personal data or in another location, you go to MyLoft. So right now we are going to visit the link for e-resources. Now for MyLoft, you will be required to register with us. On the session, I have one of my staff, Sarah Nansukusa from Kampala campus. You can pass by and then she can register you to have an account on MyLoft. So you should have the university email address, and then she'll be in position to register you. Then you can be able to utilize these resources remotely. When we go to the main page of the e-resources, we have a number of databases. However, we've decided to come up with quick reference guides for these e-resources so that you don't navigate through all these 22 databases. And for our Faculty of Sciences and Computing, we have a guide which I want to share. And this is our guide. For ebooks, we have EBSCOhost and Taylor and Francis. Then for subscribed journals, we have Hinari, we have Wiley Online Library, we have IEEE, Mathematical Sciences, Publishers Journals, the Recruiters Journals, and then also Taylor and Francis e-journals. So Taylor and Francis, we access it both with ebooks and also with e-journals. But the landing pages, there is a slight difference in the landing pages for the ebooks and one for journals for Taylor and Francis. So in the first place, we are going to look at EBSCO, and then we shall also look at Taylor and Francis ebooks. For you to access books in EBSCOhost, you'll be required to register at a certain stage. That is when you are supposed to borrow a book. We access books in EBSCO in 2 different versions. There are those books which you can access as ebooks, rather as the PDF files, and then there are those which we are supposed to borrow using a book reader called Adobe Digital Editions. I will demonstrate that. So when you come to the search box, you put in your search. For example, if I search for sports science, because that follows under the same faculty, I've been able to get 117,475 results. Why? I was too general, I was not specific, so it is cutting across all the disciplines in relation to sports science. And now if I'm interested in books, we have what we call filtering. You go to the source type and then you look for ebooks. The ebooks, they are 241, and then there are those which are called books, they are 60. And after selecting them, you apply. If I needed journal articles, I would have selected academic journals. If you need dissertations, we also have access to dissertations here. So you apply, and then the database will filter. So when it filters, we have 279 ebooks on sports science. And then it is listing them by relevancy, not by newest date. So if you need newest date, still it can filter. So our first book here was published in 2020. It is the latest here. And then we also have a book for 2025. That was last year. So here. So if we can also filter by dates of publication, but for books, you don't need to filter 12 months. You may not be able to get a book. If you are to get, chances are high that you get one or two. At least you can say 5 years range or 10 years range and more. Or you can set a date and you set a date range of the period, then you can apply. So if we need a first book, for example, you click on access now, and then in the first place, it will display the cover page and the table of content on the right-hand side of the book. And then you will be in position to even download a single chapter if you'd like to download a single chapter. But if you need to download a full book, you can click on download icon on the right-hand side of the page, the top. And definitely it will give you a second tab, which gives you chapters only. But if you need a full book, you click on ebook. Now, please sign into your My EBSCO account to check the availability. Now it means this particular book, we are going to borrow it. It's not fully a PDF which we can have forever and ever. So you click on sign in when it requires signing in. And then here, as Uganda or universities which are under the consortium of Uganda University Libraries, we are assigned to sign in using our Gmail accounts. So you click on sign in with Google. That's where you click, and then you select your email address. So the first time person to use it, you'll have to log in even your password. Then when you come here to borrowing, they are giving you 1 day to 84 days maximum. So it's upon you to download the book for 84 days, or depending on the number of days of your interest. So if I select 40 days, I have also to make sure that I have installed Adobe Digital Editions. If I haven't, there is a link here which you can open in a new tab, and you'll be open to a page which has two versions, Macintosh for Apple computers, and then other computers which are using Windows, including laptops. Then you can also install it as an app on your iPhone or on your Android phone using the Google Play Store. You can do the installation of Adobe Digital Editions. Back here, if you untick the box it means the download button will be inactive. The moment you click on it, it is active, and we are going to access this book for the next 40 days. And here is a notice. So your download will be available for 5 weeks, 4 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes. Now, after downloading the book, you'll be able to utilize it offline. And when you are utilizing it offline, the system will automatically delete, expire the book after the 40 days of your request. Whether you are online or offline, it will just expire. So on the screen, you are seeing the number of books which have expired. And if I need access to them, I'll have to go back online on EBSCO and download them, and some which are still having remaining days. So at this stage, it's downloading the book. And in case it produces an error, it means that my bandwidth or internet speed is low. So internet speed has to be a bit faster so that it can download the full book. So let's wait for it to download. I've shared a link in the chat. I request everyone to register for attendance. You can click on that link and then you register. So usually we recommend that if you are to download books, you use the off-peak hours or over the weekend, because there is always a lot of traffic during the peak hours, not only with the university network, but even when we're using other networks. Because books are heavier, and some books come when they have graphs, pictures, and so on. So when they have okay. All right, here we are. And this is our book, Science Meets Sports When Statistics are More Than Numbers. So this is the book. And on the left-hand side of the page, we have what we call the table of content. And the moment you click on it, you can be able to visit every chapter. On the right-hand side of the page, in the corner, There is where you can maximize to actual size or zoom it depending on your eyesight, and then you'll be able to read what is in the book. Now we are reading this book offline. We no longer need internet after downloading it. Then when we go back to our library, our book we've just downloaded is here, and the 39 days remaining for us accessing this book. But after that, you can go back and download it afresh. So that's how you can be able to access books here. Then you can be in position to pick the citation. So the moment you click on this icon of cite, it will take you to a page to select a citation style. By default, APA is selected, but you can be in position to select others. Though they are limited, they are not many, but they are there. And then you can copy it to the clipboard, and then you'll be in position to insert it into your reference list. Then you can share. The moment you click on share, this being a book, you create a link, and that link you copy it to the clipboard, share it with your students, or share it with the fellow lecturer if you're a lecturer and you have a teaching assistant. So the moment I paste that link here, it will take me straight away to EBSCO where this book is, and they're telling me connecting you to content via NDU University. So it will take me back to the same book, meaning that you don't need to waste a lot of time to download our book and start sharing it, because this one requires somebody's login details. That is to deal with the books. Then the same, you can be able to access journal articles still within EBSCO. However much we are prioritizing it for books. I say computer science. It's a bit general, but let me use that. They are giving me 551,257 results. This time round, I want journal articles. I'll select articles, click apply. There are also many, because you can see they range from 470,000 plus. I can decide now to reduce by date and say for the past 12 months. And then still there are many. There are 42,000 plus results. Then for the articles, you'll be in position to access only those where you have access options. You can come always to the filter. You click on filter, and then the page will display on the right hand side, and select full text, and then apply again, meaning that it will filter again, and you only have access to 3,000. From 42,000 to 3,000, those are the ones you have access to. If you want to filter more, you can still continue to filter and look at the subjects. Maybe I'm looking at computer science education, machine learning, artificial intelligence, higher education, MATLAB. If I click on more, there are more subjects here under computer science, because my search term was too ambiguous. So, but the database will keep on breaking them for you. For example, if I need on artificial intelligence and maybe machine learning and maybe MATLAB, and then update the selection and then apply. So the database will still filter, and then I'll only have 18 items here. You go to access option, and then you click on PDF. So when you click on PDF, the article will open online in a PDF format. Then you'll have provision of downloading it offline. So here's our article. was published last year. And then I'll be in position to download it. It's a PDF. At the same time, I'll be in position to share. I can share the same article by sharing it on my Google Drive, OneDrive, create a link, or share it as an email, and then you post there somebody's email and you send. So that person will get a link which will take him to this particular article and will be in position to download it. So when we download it offline, this is how it will look like when it is downloaded. So that is with EBSCO. Now let us look at Taylor and Francis. Taylor and Francis ebooks. Let's look at it's yeah. Let's look at transfer models. That is in computer science. Okay. So when you type in transfer models, the database is giving us 18,827 titles of books. However, on the left-hand side, you need to filter. First of all, we filter by content, which we have access to, and we have access to 1,027 results. So meaning that all these we have access to them. You can access them by subject. For example, we have economics, finance and business, engineering and technology, and if you want to view more, it will break it down. Because you are looking at transfer modules, you are looking at them in what context? Maybe I'm looking at them in the context of computer science. So the moment I select computer science, I have access to 123 books, which are equivalent to 471 chapters. Then you can be in position to also filter by date. You can see for the last 3 months, there is only 1 book. Last 6 months, there are 5 books. Last 12 months, there are 9 books. So you can also choose the date range and then you apply. So now these books, which are currently here on the cover page, on the first page, you can see they are for 2022, 2020, and 2021. You can also read the abstract before you download the book. So since I'm still interested in the list, I'll open in a new page, in a new tab, and then to take me to a book. Now each book, even articles, they have what we call the digital object identifier, that is the DOI. So this is the general one for the whole book. And then I can also share the book by copying a link or sharing it by email or by any other social media platforms as indicated here. Then I can also download chapter by chapter. So for Taylor and Francis, you'll be required to download chapter by chapter until when you finish up the whole book, if you need the whole book. And then when we go to, for example, we have a chapter here, Complementary Learning Systems Theory for Tackling Catastrophic Forgetting. That's what I'm interested in. I'll check the abstract. If it makes sense, then I'll click on download. So the moment I click on download, it will open in a new tab. It is still loading. And from here, I can be able to download it as a PDF. I can be in position to share. And here you can copy. They give you only one choice to copy the link, and then you share with the colleagues. So if I want to download it as a PDF, I'll click on PDF and then it will be downloaded. So here is my chapter 7. So if you need the whole book, it's the same process you go through. So that's how you can be in position to access the ebooks. Then back on our list, we had journal articles, we had Hinari, we had the IEEE, we had the mathematical science journals, but let's look at IEEE as a sample. So I want to make this clear that for IEEE, the vendor restricted us as a consortium. You can only be able to access IEEE when you are on the institutional network. They want to monitor us via our institutional IPs, not via any remote access IP. So when you go to Myloft, you will not be able to access IEEE. So you'll be required to only access it when you're on the university network. So if you need to access anything on IEEE, then you need to be on campus, either here at Kampala or at Bombo main campus. So it's giving us 7,151,660 items. This doesn't mean that we access everything, but we have a number of materials we access. Then you can also browse. So here we access mostly journals, conference papers, magazines, but not ebooks. We don't subscribe to the ebooks. You don't need to sign in because you are recognized as Ndege University, though we have not yet corrected this. We reported it, the spelling for Ndege, but we are being recognized. So we can search. For example, if I search for information technology, which is journal, so the database will be in position to give me a number of results. Then I'll have to filter only that which we have access to. So you can see it's giving me 1,256,111 results, and I'll select subscribe the content, not all. So the numbers have not dropped too much, okay? And then from here, they are giving me a range. These results are from 1909 to 2026. So am I looking for, I can filter by publication title, or I can filter by publication topics and more. There are more topics here. Am I looking at wireless networks? Am I looking at machine learning? Okay, let me look at machine learning and wireless networks. Then after selecting that, I'll apply. So these are the results. I have 90,017. And from here, you can check the abstract. If it makes sense for you, then you'll be in position to download. You click on PDF, you can open it in a new tab. If you'd like to read the article online, you click on HTML, and where you see a green padlock unlocked, it means they have access. But remember, we first filtered to only content we have access to. So this is how you'll be in position to access materials. Where is our, okay, it's opened here. Okay, our article is here. It's opened here. It was published. I'm seeing the publication date. Go back here. It was published in the 18th conference. It's for 2018. If I need the latest, I can reduce the dates here. However much I'm still remaining within my subject interest. My subject interest is machine learning and wireless networks. So they are giving me from 1976, but I need from 20 24. Then I apply. Let me see. So a range of at least 2 years. So I have access to 27,056 results. So I can be able to download this as a PDF. Stress management among employees in information technology sector using deep learning. Okay. So the article is loaded here. So here is my article. And the database will recognize where you've downloaded it from. So they are telling you authorized license to use limited to Ndege University, downloaded on March 3rd, 2026 at this hour. So we access this because we are authorized. We make payments. So subscriptions annually. So that's how you can be in position to access IEEE. Let me look at Hinari. Now, Hinari has other databases which are similar related. That is Howare, Hinari, Goli, Hadi, Agora. These are all under Research for Life, which is an entity under UN agencies. They are ones which are supporting these 5 databases. And the small description about each database and the funding organization under UN is there, or funding entity. So when we go to Hinari, you'll be able also to access a number of resources here. For example, here, if I just search for soccer game, but I understand we have colleagues from sports science. If I search for soccer game, they are giving me 9,523 results. And on the left-hand page, we can filter content. The journal articles, they are 8.7. That is 8,700. Then we have book chapters, book reviews, ebooks, and so on. So I need articles. I'll filter, so it will give me the 8,743 results. And then you can continue filtering by year of publication, or you can customize the range. And when we go to disciplines here, they are showing me different disciplines down here. And then you can select a discipline of your interest. If I go by subject, I'm looking at soccer in particular. So it has 4,170 results. Then when we are here on each article on the right-hand side where we see the 3 dots, those are referencing styles, but also you can pick a citation here. It has different citation styles. If you need APA, it will format it into APA, and then you'll be in position to copy this citation as it is for that particular article. You can share by email. You can put there somebody's email and then you send, so that person will be in position also to download. However, you can also download a PDF, or you can read the article online, full article online. So now, because Research for Life databases work with other publishers, that's why our article is opening through Springer NatureLink. And then when we reach here, we have access to this. Reloading. The other side here, it indicates we can have access. Here means we don't. It seems we don't have access to it. We can only read it online. But okay, let's see. This is going to filtering. I don't know why this has happened, because the moment it shows you a PDF, it means you can be able to download it. Let me open another one. Okay. This one we can't download it, it's on sale. The same applies with this. Okay. I'll get in touch with our e-resources chairperson in the consortium and find out why this is happening. Because yesterday evening I tested and everything was okay. I've taken note, I'll check that with our chairperson. So that's how you can be able to access these journal databases at your convenience. Yeah. So if you have any question, please you can ask before we get a commercial break of 5 minutes and we switch to the next module of in-text citation and referencing. If you have any questions about accessing these e-resources, please you can ask now.
Thank you so much. I do have a question here. Okay, I have a question on the if you download an ebook, you say for 10 days, the usability of the book becomes expired. My question is, suppose I download and I share with my students, does the book expire everywhere, even to the learners whom I share it with, or it's not shareable to other stakeholders, that book? Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for that good question. When you share the link with your students, the students will be required to log in using their emails, and then they will download the book. So when they log in, they will select the number of days of their choice. So when they also choose 40 days, they'll access it for 40 days. If they choose 84 days, they'll access it for the 84 days. So the link is open. So when you share, the link is open. They will be required also to log in their Gmail accounts, and then they will access the book. And it will be upon them to limit the number of days or to take all the 84 days.
Okay, but can't I just say as a shape? If I have it on my laptop, they come with their flash and they take their whatever by flash.
Or now that one will limit them. They will access it for the remaining days which you downloaded them for. Because that download is embedded with your selected number of days. They only have to install Adobe Dicta Editions on their laptops, and then they can access it, but they will be limited to the number of days you selected yourself.
Of the
But when you share an online link generated online, they will have the opportunity to log in and download it for the number of days of their interest.
Okay, is the online version printable?
Yes, you can print.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Doctor. Okay, Victoria is saying, can we have a step-by-step guide to access the e-resources? Yes, we are working on that. We shall share it. Thank you, Victoria. All right. If those are the concerns, thank you so much. Let's have a commercial break of 5 minutes, then we shall switch to referencing. And those who have just joined, I'll request you to register. I shared the registration link in the chat, but I can still reshare it again.
Share it, please.
So that members can register.
Link has been shared. Let us register, please. Link is in the chat.
Okay, let us resume, members. Now we are going to look at in-text citation and referencing, and we are going to have a session on Mendeley. Mendeley is an open source software for referencing and in-text citation. When we go to our browser, the first step, we are going to create an account. So when you go to your browser, you just type in Mendeley. Mendeley.com. And the moment you type in mendeley.com, it will give you a page of this nature, which requires you to sign in. So the moment you click on sign in for the first time persons, it will take you a page where you need to log in your email address. But for my case, it took me straight away to the account because this is a computer which I usually use. But it will take you to a page where you'll be required to put in your names, the first name and the given name, as well as your password, and then you create an online account because you're required to have an online account. Then after logging in your password, it will take you to, let me log in, and I can explain. So after logging in or after creating an account, you'll have a page of this nature, and on the top menu you can see pricing, features, search, my library. You click on my library because that's where we are going to operate from. And usually you'll have an empty screen without these references as a first time person to utilize Mendeley. When we go to the left hand side of the page, we are going to create a collection, and we are going to name it Faculty of Sciences and Computing. So the moment I click on this faculty, my page is empty. There are no references in this collection. However, I can decide to break it down by creating sub-collections within the same collection. And then I'll call it, for example, can say transfer modules. Okay. Then I can have another one there, maybe say computer science. Oh, sorry, I didn't create computer science. And then I can also have another one on sports science. So when you click on computer science, it's empty. Sports science is empty. Transfer models, it is empty. But this is my online account. Now we are going to create an extension which is called the Mendeley Web Importer, so that we can import our items into these created sub-collections within the collection of Faculty of Sciences and Computing. I'll open a new tab. I'll leave my account open a new tab, and go to our search browser and type there Mendeley Web Importer. And by default, it can show you the extension of your browser you are using. I'm using Chrome. If you're using Firefox, it may indicate Firefox. If it doesn't, just click on Mendeley Web Importer. It can indicate Importer, Chrome, Importer, Microsoft Edge, Importer, Firefox, and others. So the moment I select Chrome, I'll go to Web Importer of Chrome, and on the right hand side of the page, there is a button which states Add to Chrome. You click on it. It will bring you a secondary tab, Add Mendeley Web Importer. You don't cancel, you add. So Mendeley Web Importer has been added to my Chrome. I'll close that. In the far right hand corner of the page, there is this icon for extension. You click on it, and then you pin the web importer. So we've pinned the web importer here. Now, when we go back to our e-resources, for example, let us try Taylor and Francis journal articles. Maybe I want to make this clear that the Mendeley Web Importer, sometimes it gives errors, sometimes it doesn't give you results when you import books. So for the books, there is a limitation to import books, but for articles, you can import as much as you want. Then you can also import from Google Scholar, because Google Scholar mines the items or the publications from these particular journals. So if I search for sports science, and then I'll filter on the content I have access to, no. So use IEEE. I'll filter on the content I have access to. And then I'll go to publication topics. I'm looking at artificial neural networks. I'll apply. Then it's giving from 1983, I'll say from 2024. Apply. There are still many. I can say 2025. Apply again. There are still many, but it is okay. There are 3,788. Then I'll click on my Mendeley web importer. Remember, your Mendeley account is still open. Do not close it. It is failing to fetch results. Refresh. That's failed to fetch. Let me use and Francis and there are always limitations because this is an open source. So some databases may not be in position to recognize this open source service. There's something wrong with Ted and Francis. It's not fetching any results at the moment. Okay. For demonstration purposes, let me use Google Scholar, but we can always fetch from our databases, only that some will limit you access. So when we come here, we can also still filter and say since 2025. And then you click on the web importer, Mendeley web importer. So it's able to fetch only 3, but only 2 are PDFs. The rest, which is not a PDF, I'll not pick it. Then I'll come to my library and select where I would like it to be stored. I have computer science, I have sports science, I have transfer modules. I'll put it under computer science. I'll select that, and then the 2 articles will be added. If you don't do that, you can come and download. Then I'll show you how you can be in position to also upload it manually instead of using the web importer. So the 2 have been uploaded. So when we go to our Mendeley account and we check computer science sub collection, you'll find our articles are there. And now I can be in position to read the PDFs from here. I'll double click, and then I'll be able to read the PDF from my personal account. Then the information about the article will be on the right-hand side of the page, about the author, the publication, and the rest of the information as needed. The DOI is also there. The ISSN is there. It also has the ISBN. Though the ISBN usually is for the books. I don't know why they've given it an ISBN. So our article is here. And then you can be in position to put highlighters. It has rainbow colors. You can keep on changing the colors as you highlight. So I can highlight text here. Then I can change the color and still go back and highlight. I can do the same, pick a different color and go into the content and still highlight. So then you can also put a note. I need a note here. I'll put a note. It may be suitable for problem statement. And then after that, I can oh sorry. So it will save it automatically there. So you'll have you play around with your article in here. And that's how you can be in position to read your article within your Mendeley account. If we want it closed, we can close it. And then we go back to our page. So you can be back here. So that's how you can be able to play around with Mendeley online. Then we have what we call the Mendeley desktop. This is required for you to do your in-text citation and referencing when you are offline. What we've looked at is the cloud account. So you open your browser and download Mendeley. And just say download Mendeley desktop. So the moment you click on download Mendeley desktop, it will give you different links here. But most important, we have the Mendeley desktop 1.19.5 installer. Now when we open it, it's not the latest version. You come to your URL address still, remove the 5 and put 0.8 because 0.8 is the latest version for Mendeley. And then there are different packages here for Windows, for MacBooks, for Ubuntu has 32-bit and 64-bit. Linux has also 32 and 64 bits. You download and install on your computer. Now, Mendeley doesn't have any app. It's not like the Adobe Dictate editions we learned about earlier. This one doesn't have an app. You must have a laptop or desktop. So after doing the installation, this is what you'll be able to view on your screen. So your page of this nature will be welcoming you to Mendeley desktop. You remember our online account, so you log in those details exactly as they were the other side. And then the password without changing any character. if you are using your personal laptop or computer, you can stay signed in. So this is what will come on your screen, and you'll have a secondary page which tells you welcome to Mendeley, citation plugin for Microsoft Word. You click on install now. So it is now installed. So we have the plugin for Mendeley in Microsoft Word. Then they are telling you that you can import your documents and folders to your library using manual entries, or you can import using the web plugins, which we've already done. And then it has the storage, both the cloud and the local. And what we've done first was the cloud. Now we are going to look at the local. So this is our Mendeley page account, and we've been working on the Faculty of Sciences and Computing. The moment I click on the drop down for the folder, you can see we have already created this side. And because we didn't generate anything under sports science or transfer models, that's why they are empty. You can add files. If you have files you've downloaded, you can add them. You can add a full folder. You can add entry manually. Manually, this works with the physical print. If you have a physical print item, it could be a bill, a book. A book section is the same as a book chapter, a case, a computer program, a proceeding, an encyclopedia, film, generic hearing, articles from journals or magazines or newspapers, pamphlets, reports, statutes, television broadcasts, thesis, web pages, and working papers. Now the templates keep on changing depending on what you want to insert in here. When you look at the template for the book, is different from a template of a statute. Let me select a statute here. So when you look at a statute, it has a code, it has a code number, country, public law number, source, statute number, and so on. But if it's a book, it's different. It has the author, the other pages, author keywords, city, edition, editors, publishers, DOI if it's available, and then the ISBN. Now, before you do any adding or the entry manually or adding files, you have to make sure that the folder where you want them to go in the middle panel, the one which is active. So if I click on transfer module and then I go to files to add, I should make sure that everything which I'm going to add will go under transfer module. Why create folders? To separate and even to make our work easier and faster when we are doing the in-text citation. Then we have the edit, we have the view. Under view, that's where we find the citation styles. By default, APA 7th edition is selected, but you can always check for another citation style, or you click on more and then you are able to select any other citation style of your interest. Then we go to tools. That's where we have the install web importer, which we've already installed. Then we have the MS Word plugin. The moment we uninstall, it will not be there, but we've already installed it. And then we also have the help. Then we have what we call the sync or synchronize. You synchronize your desktop account with the Mendeley web or with your online account. There are two options. When you go to files, you can synchronize, or you may come to the tools here and then synchronize. So synchronization works mostly when you are online, but we can populate our Mendeley desktop when we are offline. So when we are here now, we are going to populate items under sports science. So we can add files. It will take you to your computer and you select where you have files. If I have them in downloads, I'll go to downloads and check whether I have materials there which I would like to upload. For example, if I select these articles and then open, they will automatically be added here. I can still double click and read it from here when I'm offline. And then the same way we did it the other side online, you can change the colors, you can highlight the text. Okay. Then if I want to change the color, I can change. Then I can put a note. Oh, we did it automatically online. Okay. If I don't need the note there, I can always delete it. The recycle bin icon is there for delete. And then you can also zoom if your site is not clear enough. On the right-hand side, there are details here for the item. And if you recognize that Mendeley has not picked all the information as required from the paper clearly here, you can always edit. You can even edit the authors, but from the right-hand panel, and even edit the title, but using the right-hand panel. Then you close. So when we go to our online account, I want us to appreciate that under sports science currently there is nothing, but already on our main desktop we have items. What we are going to do, we are going either to synchronize from here or just click on the icon synchronize, sync. And when we synchronize and we go back and check on our online account, you will appreciate that the items are already here. So that's how the two work interchangeably. Now the online account helps you that in case the gadget we're using physically gets a problem, or you are not with it, you traveled and you want to continue with your assignment or your article paper writing, you can still continue because you are working with your credentials. So you can just log in and make sure that the computer has many desktop, and then you can continue with your work. Now after that, the last part on this, we are going to open a Microsoft Word document, okay? And we are going to do the in-text citation and referencing. Remember that library is generated by you, nobody else generates it. So I just assume that these are my paragraphs. I have to put the cursor where I would like my citation to be, and I'll click on references. The moment you click on references on the top menu, you'll see the icon for Mendeley, insert citation, then there's also insert bibliography, and then also open Mendeley. Then the style, already it is APA, which we selected, and it's the one which is indicated here. So I'll click on insert. The moment you click on insert, if you are not so sure of the author, you click on the button, go to Mendeley, to take you to your account, and you'll select if this is the author I'm interested in, whom I used. I'll click. If there are two, I'll select another one and click on the icon above cite, above the word cite here. And then the citation is inserted in there. Then there are scenarios when I'm sure of the author name. For example, these authors, I'll go to my document here, and I want to be more specific that I use the particular pages in the article. And then, let's cancel this. This is double check, okay. That, search for, double check. And then there's also another one, XZ. Okay, so after selecting them, I'll click within the author, the surname of the author and the year, so that they can give me another window to insert in the pages. I read from page 54 to 56, and then Z, I read from page 2 to page 10, and then I'll click OK. So it will recite with the pages in there. Now, I would like to generate my reference list, however much I'm still working on this paper. You make sure you place the cursor where you want your bibliographies to start from. Then you click on Insert Bibliography. You click on it once for the particular document. When you keep on clicking on it whenever you add in more references, it will duplicate the reference list. So now it's going to be working automatically and add on more references. I'll go to the next paragraph and then go to Mendeley, pick an item from computer science, for example, this one, cite, and then you can see it has added the citation and also the reference in alphabetical order. So that's how Mendeley can help us to do the in-text citation and referencing. Thank you. I beg to end this module there. If there is any question, please you can ask before we get another commercial break to get the last module. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. My question is that other than Mandarin, are there other comparable softwares for the same purpose? And
Thank you, Doctor.
why this one? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Setekera. We have other referencing tools. We have Zotero, which is also free. And then we have others which are for subscription, which we've not yet subscribed to, but we are in the process to subscribe for EndNote, which will be, the university will buy some licenses, mostly for lecturers and our postgraduate students to utilize. So there are many others. Why promote this one? Because currently it is available, and we would like that our staff and even students, as they work on their research or publications, they cite well. Thank you. Okay, let's have a commercial break, and then in 5 minutes, we are going to handle the last segment of this training. Members, let us return and look at the last part. And now we are going to look at plagiarism. Checker. As a university, the university has paid for Drillbit. So when you go to your browser and you type in drillbitplagiarism.com, so I'm sharing also the link in your chat so that you can be able to open it and you follow. As well as those who came in late, you can register. I've reshared the link again there for registration. So the moment you come to this page of Drillbit, you click on Get Started. And the moment you click on Get Started, you log in using institutional login. So which will take you to a page of this nature. And I would like to first log in as an administrator so that I can share with you the report, the current status. So Drillbit, currently we paid for 300 accounts, licenses for instructors. Instructors are the lecturers, and 400 licenses for students. So the license is expiring this month on 25th, but we've not utilized it. I want first to appreciate this faculty that last year around the April, May, June, Dean Dr. Setekera mobilized many of you and we had a session on this. But after creating accounts, it ended there. Many of us, our accounts have not been active. When you look at this list, colleagues from computing, now like Mr. Twaha Katete, it is 0, the account was created. You look at Mr. Alex Luima, the one who has tried 156. The system keeps on counting, the statistics are there. Mr. Matthew Bazanya, 0. Mr. Herbertson Bukoli, 0. I hope, Dean, you are following your people here. We created accounts, but none of them used them. Mr. Labani Onyango, I'm looking for those who are in computing. Sports science, Mr. Temper, Benjamin Temper. We have Mr. Winfred Katom Humuza. We have Mr. Emmanuel Mugejera and the rest. So you can see that the accounts were created, but no submission yet. And then suddenly Mr. Rimaku took it to another level and he utilized the account. Why am I showing you this? Because this is the value for money. So when we don't utilize such a service, it means there is no value for the money for the institution. And this one also hinders us to request for more services of this nature if the primary ones have not been utilized. So all your accounts are still active, but the submission is there's nothing. So let me go back to the dashboard. So when we go back to the dashboard here, when you look at the submissions, the document types, others are 102. We have projects, which are 42. We have articles, which are 23. Assignments, 23. Dissertations, 22. Thesis, 7, and so on. When you go by department, computing, I think it's because Mr. Rima Alex is utilizing it most, as 70% of the total usage. The libraries are 33. Others, Faculty of Agriculture, IT, Quality Assurance, Digits, Mechanical Engineering, and then Faculty of Business Administration and Management. So the database will keep on giving all these statistics. So, and our account so far has only 22 days remaining and it will expire. So is the university going to go back and pay for that much? And we are not utilizing the service. But let's go to the instructor account and then we demonstrate how Drillbit works. So when you log in your account, it always look like mine, only that you not have these classes here. The classes are the course units you teach per semester. So when you come to the bottom right-hand corner, this button in blue, you click on create a class. We start with a class. For example, if I have a class of course unit called artificial intelligence. That is the course unit description. And say year 2, semester 2, expiry. The semester will end in May. And say 30th May. And then I'll create a class. So after creating a class, you can always edit where you see the pencil icon. You'll not be able to edit the class name, but you'll be able to edit the description and expiry date. Then when you click on the class itself, you'll be able to, first of all, you can add an assignment. Before you add an assignment, go to students. You can add your students here. The moment you click on students, you go the extreme right corner at the bottom, add students. To give you an option to add one student, add multiple students. Multiple, that is if the class has many students, then you download a template, which is in Excel, and then to give you the different columns which you need to fill in. The student name, the student email address, the student ID, department, section, and phone number. And then after that, you return back and upload it here. You browse and then you upload the file there. Or you can add each student. If you have a small group, you can add each student, the student name, the email, the ID, the department, the section, and then the phone number. You can also use that option. So students are not added by us. For us as the library, we can only create accounts for the instructors. So you, the instructors, you are responsible to create accounts for your students. So when we go to assignments, we can create an assignment and maybe say project 1, and then set the date when we would like this student to start submitting. If we want them to start submitting tomorrow, which is 4th, what's the end date, the deadline? The assignment is for 1 month, then they can submit, 4th will be a Saturday in April. We can give them up to Monday, which is 6th. If you have more instructions, you can choose a file here and add a file for instructions about the assignment. Then we have the assignment settings. These are very important. Allow assignment grading. The moment you say yes, means you are going to put there a score mark. For assignments are marked out of 40, you can say maybe 40. Or if you are going to give more assignments, more than one, you can say 20. So Drillbit will give the gradings of the marks. If you don't want, you leave it at no. exclude references stroke bibliography. The reason why we are using drill bit is to check whether students have not copied and pasted work elsewhere. So we may leave this on, unless when it comes to dissertations, we can exclude. Then exclude quotes. No, we need to have access to those quotes, whether they are true quotes. Small sources, save to repository. Now you have to be careful here. When you say yes, to give you an option, two options, institutional and global. So when you save the student's work on the institution repository, the next academic year, when you give the same assignment, same question, without changing it or without creating a new assignment or new project for students, you know very well they always get references from their former classmates or the classes which are ahead of them. So they will go to the year threes and ask them, did Mr. Rima give this same project? That yes, let's have a look at what he gave. And then they will copy exactly what the other ones, especially from those good performers, they will copy from the good performers and come resubmit. Now, the same work which is already saved there will indicate that this second group is copying and pasting because already the work is saved in there. So it's upon you to either select it or leave it, and you don't save since these are assignments or weekly projects. Allow resubmission. Resubmission is how many times you would like your students to resubmit per day. That is when they are checking for plagiarism. If you want them to submit 3 times, you can select 3 times. And then in a day, they will be allowed to resubmit only 3 times to check for the plagiarism percentage. Then they go back and make changes. Allow submission after due date. This is very dangerous, but it depends on your class. If you trust they will not violate it, you can give extra days, meaning that since they were supposed to submit all of them by 6th, means by 7th, 8th, they will be able still to submit. So you have to be careful. Choice of email notification. You can say yes, so that students can get notification of the aside of the grades. If you say no, it will be you to notify them of their similarity percentages. View of similarity and report, yes. If you leave it at no, the students will be in position, you will be the one to share with them the similarity. Daily submission limit, since on top we selected 3, even here we can say 3. Then compare against databases. We are checking similarity comparing with the student papers online on other databases, checking with the journals and publishers, the ones we looked at first, looking at the web pages or internet, and then other institutional repositories, because we are comparing their work against other databases. Then after that, you submit after making those changes. So you'll have project 1 here. So the students will only be able to view the project 1 under artificial intelligence, and every student will only be able to view his or her own work, not any other person's work. But for you, the lecturer, you'll be able to view all of them. So when they come to this page, or when you come to this page, you go to the bottom right-hand side of the page, click on upload. If it's non-English, you select. If it's in English, you select English. And then when you come here, is your work on a computer? Yes. If it's on Google Drive, you select. If it's a scanned PDF, you do the same. Then you browse. So you pick your assignment which you would like to test. Anything here. This. Okay. And then you put the students' names, and then you select the document type. It's necessary because when the system is coming up with the statistics, it looks at this. So if it's an article or an assignment project work, I'll select project work and then submit. So the database, the plagiarism tool is going to give us 3 reports: the similarity report, the AI score, and the grammar quality. So it also depends on the bandwidth to generate this faster. If the network is slow, it might take longer. Then as a lecturer, you'll be able to view all the student work. Let me go here. For example, in this class, this is how I'll be able to view all the students. If I have many students, of course, here the names of the students will be there, and then I'll be able to view their different percentages, the similarity, the AI scores, the grammar quality, and so on and so forth. So let's go back here to the classes and see artificial intelligence. The project 1 has not yet finished generating. But usually when it finishes generating, this is what happens. Let me go to this one, which is already active. When I go to similarity, to generate a similarity report, and it will give you a summary where we have green light is satisfactory, which is 0 to 10%. Then blue light is a upgrade, that is 11 to 40%. Then orange light, that is poor, which is 41 to 60%. And then unacceptable is the red light, which is 61 to 100%. So usually at international level, for any undergraduate, the similarity score shouldn't be above 30%, masters 20%, then PhD 10%. However, it depends on the institution's policy. Right now, as we speak, we are still coming up with a policy for plagiarism, the plagiarism checker policy. And when it's approved and put into place and into action, then that will guide us well. But in the presence where we don't have it, still we have to follow the international guidelines, because our students, when they go to compete outside there, they will query their research works in case the percentages of the similarity percentages are ambiguous. So they should be within those levels. Then still the percentage shouldn't be below 6%. So there are those limitations. But the system will only help you to detect, not for you to judge the student, but to detect where the student needs to make improvement. He or she can go back and make improvement, so that is in line with the recommended percentages. AI, but internationally there is no policy. They are just guidelines, and they don't specify exact percentage which is required. But that one also we have to use our cautious. The grammar, that one deals with the writing, knowing very well that English is a foreign language, so many students might first pray into this, but still you can guide them so that the percentages are not too high when you check their work or when they do self-check. So let's wait for this document to open and display, and then we look at it critically. So this is the report, and these are the colors I was talking about: satisfactory, upgrade, poor, unacceptable. So you can be in position to download a PDF report. You can also be in position to download a summary report of this full document. Then when you look at the colors, it keeps on highlighting the colors basing on the matching sources. Basing on the matching sources, the colors will be in line with the sources which are here. So, but this student, his work is okay, and 611% by each source. Then we can also get the AI score. So the AI will score at 21%, and for it, it will also give you the information which it thinks that it was not humanized, and then the student will have to work on those changes. Then you'll also be able to get the grammar. So the grammar report will look at the phrases, will look at the duplicate content, will look at the indexed content, and then to look at everything. So this is also a report on grammar. And then when you go into the text itself in the work, it will go ahead to put lines per each sentence, and then you go one by one to make changes where there is need. So that's how Drillbit can operate, and that's how hopefully it can help us to check those three items: the similarity score, which is the plagiarism we usually know, and then the AI percentage, and also the grammar status. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any question on this last module, please feel free to unmute yourself and share. Is everything okay? All right, so those who had forgotten to register, you can go to the page, to the chat. I've reshared again the link so that you can register for this session before we call it to an end. I'd like to know whether Dr. Setekera is still in. Yes, he's in. Doctor, I'll give you an opportunity to talk to the team, your remarks, and then we conclude, please.
Okay, thank you so much. The barrier, Mr. Galinya, Bagalinya, Stephanus, for taking us through the different available e-resources in the university, which are enabling us to perform better for even in class, but also in our research and also in our publications. So I've seen a lot of work or a lot of or a number of tools which I know we all need. All need. We as lecturers, we must know the resources, how we can even use them because now there's a lot of materials on which you can find online. For me, I find it very, very important for even for me, for my classes, to get more materials, latest materials, which I can use for my teaching. But also, we have seen how we can really check for plagiarism. Yeah, and also how do we do citation as well. And these are things we need. Academics, we need these things, and they're all available. Nature has paid for them, and so it's up to us to consume what is paid for as staff members, but also as even or as researchers. We need to have this information. We need to be able to use these resources to better for the betterment of our work and also our teaching. So now it's up to us. We've had the training. I've had uh, the the option. You should know what is available. Because there's more. This is just you will know you come back with the others. There's more for each that has got under the library department. So now it's up to us to explore our colleagues, these resources, use them. So at least even to let our learners, those who are not doing the final year projects, how are they citing? How they use APA? How they use that? So it's up to us now to really engage after learning. As you saw for the issue of the bill bit, it's us to register the learners to use it. So let us not be selfish. Let us, as we learn, also bring on board our students to use these, because if we, like example, those who are doing their final year projects or their assignments, you can just use this to check how good is your work, how original is your work. So it does not be people who are really sitting and almost doing nothing with this knowledge. Let us use this knowledge as much as possible, so we can be able to really grow in our career, in our research and innovation, and also teaching as well. Because now most of our learners, they know these things. Be very bad for them to teach them to you in your class. They say, no, I use the bill bit. But I said, what's that? And then you say, for you are just crossing the guy, but the guy is right, it's you who's wrong. The guy has done his homework well, the student, and you, the expert, the lecturer, you have done nothing, so you're really caught off guard. So let us try to really use whatever we have got now, put it in practice, because that's how we're going to be able to perfect it. And I've seen Mr. Rima is using a lot of the software for plagiarism. So if you want to get more insight, please contact him. He's our e-learning coordinator. So we can use him to really make us better as well. And also, as we are teaching, let us also try to be tech savvy. You're in the faculty of science and computing. We are the IT faculty. So it should be the more users of this technology. Otherwise, we're in the wrong place. So let us try to use this technology so at least we can show even in class that we know something with technology. That will enable us to really be able to be exemplary even to other faculties. To be very funny that like in other faculties like education, whatever, with culture, they're using technology more than we, the IT people. That doesn't sound good at all. When we were supposed to guide them, they're the one who are guiding us. You say, hey, I'm Mr. Nyanga, huh? How do you say? I don't know. So please, we must know. So I want to thank Mr. Garinya for taking us through this. And I know he'll come up with more packages. Thank you for pushing this. Thank you for motivating since in the holiday. He has been on these things. Only got off by the elections and those changes which came from the government and so forth. Otherwise, he was ready. Even in holiday, he was busy planning for this training or for this workshop. So thank you for hunting for us this new knowledge and for feeding us as much as possible. I know with this kind of knowledge, we can do much. Lastly, as I conclude, I know there are colleagues here who may want to get more books, textbooks to use for our teaching. I don't know if the window closed out, or we can still submit new books because now I've got some new courses which are just starting now, like data science and statistics. So we need to have some new books for that course. I don't know if it's still possible to submit the list for the books. We have to wait for next academic year. Otherwise, thank you so much. And we pray that at least the team here can put this knowledge to use. And of course, they can also contact you because I hope you have somebody who is attached to our faculty as a library contact person. If you have one, please let us know so you can really be able to access that person as much as possible. So at least in case we don't need us always to come to you, we can contact our library representative, or you assign your officer to us for any information and maybe further clarity on different training. I saw somebody here wrote on, I think it was Namuju, Madam Namuju, that she wants to have these steps written down that she cannot remember, and I know she's not alone. Most of people here cannot remember all these steps. So I think having some bit of documentation on these steps will help a lot to have so the learners can be able to have their own quiet time or safe time to educate themselves on these steps. Otherwise, thank you so much, and I wish that we all the best in training us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Setekera, for those compliments. We appreciate. And when it comes to the guide, which was requested earlier, we are working on it and it will be shared. You have a liaison librarian to your faculty, and that is Sarah Nansusa. She sits there at Kampala campus. And I know she has been in touch, so she'll still be in touch in case there is any need or any recap session for those who have not picked well what we've gone through. But also, all these trainings, we are uploading them on the library YouTube channel, because usually the recorded link expires and you fail to access this anymore, but we are uploading them on our YouTube channel, where you can be able to access them. It's at NDU Library 2025, where you can be able to get all these trainings, not for only this faculty, but even other faculties where we've been having trainings. So in the chat, I've shared the YouTube channel name for the library, so you can always access the recordings from there. So thank you so much, Dr. Setekra. You raised a question whether the window is still open for purchasing new books. Please, you can forward those lists, because we shall end purchases in April. So we have this month and next month, and then the window will be closed, because even the financial will be getting to an end. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll request I saw Madam Edith, she's still on, to give us a closing prayer, or she has left. She has left. I'll request Madam Victoria Namuju to give us a closing prayer, please. You can unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Morning to you.
And thanks for the presentation. Let's have a closing prayer. Lord Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for the information that has just been shared. And we pray that we put it to good use. In Jesus' name I prayed. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us when you come in.
You've been there.
Hey,
Shall
there
find you
was a
for-
day introduced from the very beginning. Lwakubanga wakati nfunyewo retake va omwange. Awasooka mpise, wakati retake, akasembyeyo.